Hello, everybody. My name is Benjamin Bloom, and we are on take two of the Leeds victory at Swansea. Hopefully, you can see me now. We've had some technical problems, but I think we are live. This is the Benjamin Bloom football show, and I have just witnessed Swansea 0, Leeds United 1. Yes, it looks like we've got some people in the comments. Hit the thumbs up button, get your comments in on a massive win for Leeds United. Incredible scenes at the end of this game. Pablo Hernandez off the bench to do the business again. 88th minute counter-attack, and Pablo finds the goal that puts Leeds just 4 points off promotion. 2 years of work for Bielsa. They are that close now. 3 games left, only 4 points required for Leeds to get themselves up and over the line. And in one of the tensest, most edgy games I think I've ever seen in my life, what an outpouring from the Leeds bench and the Leeds squad, and from Pablo himself when that goal went in. Have a little look at what that means at the top of the table. You can see there, Leeds, 84 points. Brentford can only get 87 now. So it looks like Brentford have their sights set on West Brom now. Leeds just need 4 points to get over the line, and it could be done even closer. Remember, a Brentford defeat in the next game. I believe Leeds play last, and then it would just be the 1 point needed for Leeds to get over the line. It could be done in the next game. What a moment that was. If you are a Leeds fan, not a great moment if you're a Swansea fan, obviously. They were in 6th position going into the 88th minute there, and they dropped down into 7th. Let's have a little look through the action, and don't worry, I'll get to the goal quickly. And please get your comments in on the game. Really, I know all the comments are just going to be on the last 5 minutes, aren't they? But it was quite the battle up until that last goal. Very, very tense, as I said. Swansea lining up with the 3 at the back, and this strange kind of, sometimes the front 2, sometimes 2 dropping back. Mayhew, the key guy, they're clearly set up to stop Leeds playing out, not pressing the centre halves. Gallagher dropping back onto Calvin Phillips to stop him being the playmaker. Leeds standard formation and personnel there. And again, standard tactics, Hernandez on the bench until half time. And a first half of much tension and not a lot of opportunities. If you bring up the first half stats, there are no big chances, 2 on target from either team here. Brewster in the box, spins and hits at Meslier on 10. Mayhew nearly played Brewster in on 18. It's the last-ditch tackle that stops him there. There was a near calamity for Swansea where Harrison crossed in. Norton waved a lazy leg at it. Woodman came and it went into the side net. It's a couple of yellow cards, but a decent chance for Leeds on 31. Big long ball straight. Leeds not able to play their normal game out from the back and round through the thirds and through Phillips and out to the wings. But a big direct ball set Bamford in on 31. Poor from Cabango. He turns his back on it. The ball hits him on the back. It falls for Bamford. He needs to find the corner here. It's on his right foot, so he just tries to get a good connection straight at Woodman. Really, really nicely balanced as we get up to half time. Costa gets in behind on one occasion to the byline, but his cross easily gathered by Woodman. And Leeds, in the main, frustrated in that first half. They're looking for a different type of pass, a switch of play or a long straight ball. I think Swansea played it quite well in the first half. I said that at half-time on Thursday. Stoker played it well for the most part, but just that crazy tackle. But Swansea get to half-time 0-0, as I said. And at that point, indeed, you can see Leeds were top and Swansea were in the top 6 still. But it all hinged on could anybody get that goal in the second half. Indeed, Bielsa makes the same half-time movement. Well, I know he took Bamford off in the Fulham game, but in the Fulham game we see Alioski at half-time and we see Pablo Hernandez in. They come for Dallas and Roberts this time. So strange that Bielsa takes Dallas out of the game. He normally trusts him absolutely implicitly, but Alioski goes into that left-back position and Hernandez, as we thought in midfield, place for the second half. Leeds, they're looking for the start of the second half. Terry, couple of long ranges. However, close moment here for Swansea on 51. Gallagher breaks into the box past White on the right-hand side. Gallagher, we saw this for Charlton a lot, gets into the box, full on the sprint, hits the shot early, right-footed, right corner of the box. Good save by Meslier. He's well behind that, tips over the bar. Gallagher recycles the corner. Guay heads over on 55. Starts to get a bit niggly round the hour mark. And what I thought I was going to be talking about was the huge chance that Leeds do not score on 60. They should take the lead here. Hernandez on the ball, right-hand side in midfield, drives it into the box. Harrison, absolutely brilliant from Harrison. He watches it come down, and it's a perfect cushion left foot volley cross across the box. Brilliant play by Harrison. It's on a plate for Bamford. It's a diving header, but he can only be 2 yards out here. All he needs to do is head it down towards the corner. And again, he goes for contact rather than direction. And Woodman is allowed to make the save. It's a good save by Woodman, but a huge chance for Bamford. And I thought that the narrative was going to be Bamford misses and Leeds miss out. But fortunately, Pablo is going to bail him out at the end of the game. Big chance, decent save, should have buried it. So Ailing long ranger over the top. Leeds starting to turn the screw as we come up to 70 now. I'm looking across at the benches. Looks like Cooper is out of ideas because I'm not seeing many subs forthcoming. Is this the point where if Bielsa had Jean-Kevin Augustin on, he would have brought him in? He doesn't, and he didn't. So a moot point. But on we go. 74, Harrison, yellow on Roberts. Gallagher tries an early free kick. Given away here. Quick counter by Leeds. Have they got gas? Money in the tank here. Hernandez onto Harrison, into the box. Good touch. He's under pressure. Hits the shot left-footed. Snatches at it over the top. They're just looking for that big chance as we go in to the last 10. A whole slew of subs now. Routledge is going to come in for Brewster on 81. 84, nice move by Leeds. Ball moving nicely. Ailing onto Hernandez. Hernandez, 20-yarder over the top. You can just see there might be the opening going to come for Leeds. And what a moment for Leeds fans. And what a moment in the title race here. 88 minutes. And something that should not be underplayed here is this whole counter-attack and this whole goal starts with a cool-as-you-like pass by Calvin Phillips right the way across his own box. The Bielsa ball and the philosophies really coming into play from the moment. And here they come. They're on their bikes down the right-hand side. And it's Luke Ailing moving forward. He comes up towards halfway, but he keeps his run going. The ball is with Costa. He goes into the box. He drives inside. This is the exact purpose of the Bielsa tactics. Costa inside. Ailing, he's got the legs. It's 88 minutes. It's 43 games into the season. Into the box goes Ailing, and those Leeds players are piling into the middle. Ailing onto the ball. We know he's going to pull it back. They always pull it back. The Swansea defenders move towards the ball. Ailing cuts it back. There's just a slight little leg, I think, from Guay onto the ball. It comes to Hernandez. He's the exact guy you want it to. There is the steal. Hernandez takes the touch with the right foot. He hits the shot. Look at it. Perfectly into the corner. Woodman throws himself to his right. If the shot's not perfect, he's going to save it. But it's Pablo Hernandez, and the shot is perfect along the floor, in off the post, into the net. And oh my goodness me, what a moment that was. Wow, I'm getting goosebumps even talking about it. Into the corner, Pablo goes mental, pulls his shirt off. The Leeds bench go mental. The Leeds hierarchy, you can hear them roaring. We know Orta and Radrazani are probably there, and they love a good old Gallic roar there. Hernandez wheels away all the subs off the bench. Is that the moment that puts Leeds over the line? If you're a watching Brentford fan or Fulham fan, is that the moment you sit back and you say, we're done? It's only West Brom we can catch now. Utterly incredible stuff. It had to be Hernandez, who has been the go-to guy off the bench, destroyed Stoke the other night. He's been such a great player. And he gets the goal on 88 minutes. And 5 minutes stoppage time goes up, but the whole thing just doesn't calm down. There's this outpouring, and the game doesn't seem to manage to get started again for the next couple of minutes or so. Incredible stuff. Steve, obviously Hernandez gets the yellow card for taking his top off. He doesn't care. Nobody cares at that point. Byers on for Fulton, Selena on for Guay, Cullen on for Bidwell. Steve Cooper just throws on any players he can. Shackleton comes in for Costa. Woodman comes off. The goalkeeper, we're going to get 7-8 minutes stoppage time, which I'm sure made Leeds fans very nervous watching on. Mulder goes off because Woodman has a problem right late in the game. Mulder, the sub-goalkeeper, comes on for Woodman. It's all so confusing. Barry Douglas is ready to go and come on. He doesn't come on. Berardi comes on for Harrison. Just get some defenders on. Stop everything. I think Swansea get one corner, which Mulder goes up for. But in the main, it's pretty comfortable. And Leeds managed to see it through. What a moment. There is the table. As I say, if Brentford were to win their next game, that would be 81. Leeds can't do it the next game. If Brentford lose, Leeds would just need a point. That would put Brentford's maximum upside there up to 84, providing West Brom can do them a favour against Fulham. Look, it may or may not happen in the next game, but you could get a scenario. You know West Brom and Fulham are going to drop points in the next game because they're playing each other. One of them has to drop points. It's all on Brentford now in terms of Leeds getting up. Let me just quickly have a look on my phone to tell you that Brentford's next game is at home to Preston. It's not a gimme, but remember, Leeds go last, don't they, on Thursday? So look, they may need to wait, but it's 4 points now Leeds need across 3 games. That is assuming that Brentford's perfect chase continues. It may do, it may not, but Leeds are doing their job big style. Before the game, we looked at the form. So that, if I remove my banner at the top there, excuse me, sorry, and you'll be able to actually see the last results. That is 4 wins in 5 games from Leeds. Over those 11 games, now that's only 1 defeat and 1 draw. 9 victories in 11. Really, what's happening here now is that Brentford's amazing form is actually masking what's been an incredible run-in for Leeds. So over the previous 10 games, we said it had been 25 points. That stat remains. 25 points in the last 10 for Leeds is 2.5 points per game. And frankly, if it wasn't for 4 straight wins from Fulham and 7 straight wins from Brentford, we would be applauding a brilliant run-in from Leeds. 9 wins, a draw and a defeat in the last 11 it has been to get them right on the verge now. And it would take perfection from Brentford and Fulham, I think, to catch them. Now, there you go. They turned the screw in the second half. 12 shots to 6, 4 on target, 3. They did make the big chance. That was Bamford's header. They missed the big chance, but they kept plugging away. You can see normal Leeds service resumed in the second half. 337 on the passes to 228. 85 attacking third, touches or passes, excuse me, 18 take-ons. You can see just edging it. And then when you get down into the defensive stats in the bottom of that graphic, you can see Leeds did what it took. They turned the screw. I thought Swansea played it well in that first half. I thought they frustrated. I thought that not pressing the centre halves, dropping Mayhew, was he a number 10 or was he a number 9? Was a bit confusing. Steve Cooper making a good go, but just once Hernandez was in, and from pretty much that hour mark where they start to turn the screw, it was ebbing in Leeds' favour. Should have taken the lead, as I said, with Bamford. But then, hey, it wouldn't be the Leeds way, doing it the hard way there, and you wouldn't have got that incredible moment with Hernandez scoring that goal at the end. Incredible stuff. Let's get your thoughts in. Richard in tears here. Unbelievable scenes. We did it for Jack, Pablo, the magician. No doubt lots of excited Leeds fans in here. Kind of still thinks Brentford might hit West Brom for second. Leeds fans won't care now, will they? Remember Fulham, West Brom coming up, but it looks like only West Brom are in Brentford's sights. Now, Bap says, I think Swansea ended up just out of path. Forest have an absolute banker. And you can see Steve Cooper, he had subs on the bench there. I'm looking at 70. I'm looking, there's Danda, there's Routledge, there's Selena, there's Byers, there's Danda on the bench. And I think, who was the comment? Baps there might be right there. Dale says, love that Pablo celebrated. He just went crazy, didn't he? He went absolutely crazy. Ollie says, did I see Bielsa celebrated? Look, whether you're a Leeds fan or not, I'm an Ipswich fan, I'm a neutral. That was an incredible moment, wasn't it? Just seeing that 2 years of work and knowing that it was going to be a really tense last 3 games, and that I would be sit here on the channel saying, look, Leeds have dropped points, West Brom have dropped points, Brentford and Fulham, the pressure's on. They keep winning, but no, what a moment. Swansea played well, they didn't deserve to win. They worked hard for a draw. John says Fulham beat West Brom this week, Brentford win, and it's game on. But those Leeds fans can look down to the top, from the top, knowing that out of that top 4, someone is dropping points in that game, Fulham versus West Brom. So from a Leeds point of view, you do your job. 2 of your rivals, one of them's dropping points. Brentford with Preston, it's not a gimme. 6 points clear of third. Wow. What a moment. Josh says, let's go, boys. What a win. Baggies Forever says, what a situation we're in now. All that pressure is on West Brom, because you know what they're going to say? If West Brom don't lose that game and get the draw, everyone's going to say West Brom are choking it. It will be 2 straight games of drop points. They need to beat Fulham. Incredible. Eli says, I'm going to cry on Thursday. One of our biggest rivals is going to get relegate us and get promoted on the same night. Remember, it is not that straightforward this coming week. I think it might be at Derby Leeds do it, and Leeds fans will obviously love that, won't they? I will try and bring up the fixtures as we are doing this broadcast so you can see exactly what is going to be happening this midweek. Absolutely tense, as you can imagine. So Tuesday night, West Brom, Fulham. Wednesday night, Brentford, Preston. Thursday night, Leeds, Barnsley. Let's bring that table up. I know you Leeds fans love to see it, but let's bring it up one more time. So, what was the first game? The first game is the big game, is West Brom versus Fulham. So someone drops points in that first game. And there is no bad scenario for Leeds, really, because if it is West Brom that gets the win, then you know the gap stays 6 points and Fulham can tick off another game. If it is Fulham that gets the win, then the gap goes down to 5 points, but possibly championship stuff then for Leeds. If it's a draw, then that's a fine scenario. Basically, Brentford and Leeds sit and watch. Then Brentford go on the Wednesday night, Brentford versus Preston. If they get the victory, the gap closes to 1 point. But if Brentford were to draw and West Brom were to draw, for example, that would be 82-79. Leeds could pretty much mathematically, no, they can do it. Okay, so 2 draws in those games. Yeah, Brentford 79, Fulham 77, West Brom 82. A Leeds victory then would put an unassailable lead in. So there you go. I've done the maths. I think I've done it right. What Leeds need in order for Eli's prediction to come true there is draws in the game, in the games on Tuesday between West Brom and Fulham, and Brentford and Preston, draws in both of those games. Or, you know, for goodness sake, a defeat for Brentford, of course, would still work. And they can do it. But either a Fulham win or a Brentford win, and I think I'm right in saying that Leeds can't go up on Thursday then. But look, it's nearly there. Marshall says, congrats, Leeds fans since 1960 now in Israel. Badger says, I wouldn't blame Bam for that miss. It was a world-class save. I'm not sure I agree, Badger. I think Woodman's in the right position running. I mean, it doesn't matter, does it? But I think if Bamford heads that down, he can't save it. I think it's only the place where Bamford put it is that save. Any other position goes back across him downwards. But yes, good save, but he should score there. Blue Blood says we're lucky we got another match week from a Cardiff point of view, still in 6th. Pastor says those last-minute goals hurt. Revenge. There you go. Ollie says we can practically go up. If we go up, I don't know what that means. I mean, he's probably high on victory. Aaron says it honestly felt like Pablo's goal went in slow motion. Yes, I'm in neutral, and it did go in slow motion, just purely because Ayling's cutback, I'm sure someone in the defence touches that cutback, and then Pablo, instead of being able to just sweep it in first time, has to then stop, take a touch, get it under control. But as the commentator, I think it was Matt Jones on LUTV was the feed I was watching, as the commentator said, that is the difference between hitting a good connection into the corner and just going for power. Probably gets blocked if he just goes for power, but it's Hernandez, isn't it? And he hits it so accurately into the corner, in off the post. Zayon says he's going to miss me. There we go. I will be doing a show next year, Championship alumni, that will allow us to cover Leeds and Sheffield United probably anymore. So please hit the subscribe button and you can still get involved here. Aaron, Leeds fan here. I'm absolutely delighted. Yes, you'd have to be a heart of stone to not admit that was a great moment, wasn't it? If you're a football fan, that was a great moment. Harry says Leeds are falling apart again, aren't they? Matt says, impregnate me now, Pablo. Salvasio agrees, can't blame Bamford for the header. When you are diving full length, you can't get much control. Okay. Fair enough. There we go. Ayat Mucker says, for Norman, for Jack, for Trevor, centenary year. Charles says, Brentford all to do now. Pressure is on them. Is it? It's on West Brom, isn't it? Surely now the pressure is on West Brom. They have to play Fulham and they're first up as well. Brentford can just sit there and watch and keep winning. That's all Brentford can do. Activist Judge says, God, I love my club. Our little magician again. Boom, boom. Shaking up football again. Champions League place. Don't get ahead of yourself. But yeah, it was a great moment. Leeds Freak says, if we don't get up here, we are truly cursed. Look, Leeds would have to not win any of the last 3 games pretty much, wouldn't they, to not do it. 3 draws and they won't get the 4 points, and anything with defeats in then. But any type of victory now, 1 victory from those last 3, and Brentford, I think, can only draw level on points. Am I right? Let me bring that table up again. Brentford, 78. Brentford can get 87. So Leeds, 1 victory, and Brentford have to be perfect from here on out. Fidan says, do you believe in this? In the round, Leeds winning against Barnsley and Brentford not winning against Preston? I don't know. I don't think it matters, Fidan. I think it's the West Brom Fulham game. That is the big one. Leeds 2020 says, what limbs? That's one sad thing. If that Swansea away end had been full of Leeds fans, That would have been the ultimate limbs, wouldn't it? The Yorkshire Pirlos off to the Premier League. I assume he means Calvin Phillips there. Vamos, Bielsa, carajo, says Eduardo. Get in there, says Martin. We did it for Jack. Absolutely, you did it. What a great moment. What a brilliant moment that was. Don't you know, pump it up, says Mad Ferrets. Badger says, I didn't think it was a goal for a few seconds. I couldn't believe it. Joe says, Ben's Leeds and he knows it. Look, the Ipswich scarf is literally right there. I promise I'm not. I'm a football fan. That was a great moment. I'm sorry, unless you support a rival team to Leeds, you have to admit that was an incredible moment. Well done to Bryn Law on the feed I watched for going mental when the goal went in as well. What a great time to score. Nearly put my hand through the ceiling. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff there. Bamford's earned a quiet one. Loved his pressure when Alioski whacked it back up. Want us to throw him from nothing and return possession. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure if you go through the minutes leading up to that goal, you'll be able to find lots of little stuff they did right. We played to win. They played not to lose. And that is the bar that Bielsa has set. That's what teams do now. They set up against Leeds. They don't go toe-to-toe. The last team that went toe-to-toe with Leeds, really, was Norwich, wasn't it? Where they won 3-1. Or I suppose maybe Brentford at Easter last season. But pretty much this season, it's been sit back, get what you can. And that's the bar they've set. 16 years listening to all that tripe. Have that. There we go. Richard says, we're going up. We're going up. Ken, thank you, sir. I probably shouldn't drink Pepsi as I'm talking so fast, but we'll drink to you. Kent says, Pablo is a genius, made a very difficult finish look easy. It's not even the finish, is it? It's that he had the entire pressure of this entire 2-year project on him as he controls that ball. It's the calmness. I know it's not equivalent, but we saw Rooney yesterday in a moving box with the ball moving and everybody running. Just stop and play a little 6-yard pass. Any footballer can take that shot and put that in the corner off the post. But with the pressure on and with all hell going on around him, what a moment that was. Brilliant. Dale on a high, of course you are. Matt says, Pablo just got Leeds promoted. There we go. Michael, there we go. Super sticker. Thank you, Michael. We'll drink to you. Drink to Pablo in that moment. Great, he scored, but why the sports bra? Yeah, wearing his GPS tracker. They do look rather like sports bras, don't they? James says, I can't stand up or I'll have a heart attack. This is the great thing about doing this, is that I'm a neutral and just covering the division. Leeds fans won't thank me for reminding them. I got to see the Sheffield United fans have this moment last year. In fact, I was in the stadium because Ipswich lost 2-0 when Sheffield United got promoted. It was incredible. And I love to see you guys so happy. Brilliant stuff. John says, who was the Swansea great who kept Hernandez out of their team? There you go. Indeed. Yeah, it's a monitor top, not a bra. However, still turns me on. Activist Judge says, let West Brom and Brentford scrap it out. Now, I think that's the issue now, isn't it? Leeds just throwing pinging that ball back into their court. And what a week we're going to have. And if you're a Leeds fan, you can now sit and pop your feet up on Tuesday and watch West Brom and Fulham go. You can pop your feet up on Wednesday and watch Preston and Brentford go at it. And then maybe, hey, look, they can both win. Brentford can win on Wednesday. And it's probably Fulham winning that's the worst thing for Leeds. And then you've got 2 chasers. West Brom doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You want Fulham to not win that game if you're a Leeds fan there. So that gap stays absolutely set, doesn't it? Stefan says, no way we would have won that game last season. Different level of belief. And as I said, big moment on 70 minutes. We knew that when Steve Cooper did not make a Swansea sub around 75 minutes, that he was out of ideas and that they weren't there to win the game, that it was 0-0. And Bielsa knew that as well. And just as Ailing got a little bit further up, etc., you knew it was coming. And Pablo is getting further and further forward, isn't he? Remember that moment just before where tons of Leeds players forward, and he just delayed the pass too much. Pablo, didn't he? Incredible stuff. Zero Fox says all Leeds, aren't we? Real men wear Spanx too. There we go, as well as those GPS trackers. Bielsa owns you all. The Championship will never see a calibre like him. Look, I remember we had Rafa Benitez. He was seemingly too good for the Championship and has proved it a couple of times, hasn't he? Also, remember Graham Taylor coming back with Watford and, you know, just too experienced and too clever. But maybe Bielsa is too. Remember Leeds United, 13th place, 1 place below Ipswich in 2017-18. And look what he has done for them. Leeds like to make the fans suffer. Well, you can think about it as suffering, Chris, but what a moment it was. Brentford will pip West Brom. Total Swans TV says absolutely gutted. Of course, but just ran out of steam. I thought Swansea played it well. I really did. Leeds were frustrated, but just turned the screw, didn't they? Around 60, 65 minutes. There we go. Ross says that was a tough game to watch, but our hero, Pablo, saved the day. Unreal. Look, unless you're a rival here, I'll say it again. That was an incredible moment. It really, really was an incredible moment. And just to say I'm being balanced here for those people who accuse me of being biased towards Leeds or Millwall or Villa, all the teams I've been biased. Last year, there was an equally incredible moment when Steve Basham scored at Ellen Road. And I was in the Sheffield United stand. I'd been bought a ticket by a Blades fan there. That was an incredible moment, and that was against Leeds. I'm a football fan, and I can see it, and I know an incredible moment when I see it. Pablo Hernandez is a god in the Championship. And I think the thing I love at the moment is how he's just left on the bench. And it's like, Pablo, get on, come on, get us out of this scrape again. Leeds falling apart again, massive goal. What a moment. Next season, playing the Scum, and Chelsea have it. There we go. Oh dear, sorry, I've pressed that button that makes everything skip down. Excuse me. Christoph says, perseverance and grind, never stop pushing. And they never did stop pushing, did they? Liam, how many points do you think Leeds finish on? I can see us winning all 3 games. Look, it's 3 games now. They need 4 points. There could be a situation where they drop points in the last game because they're already up. But who knows? Darren says, a win made of champions. It was. It really, really was. Kian says, I don't think Fulham winning is a bad thing. Look, maybe you're right, but that does implore Brentford to keep winning as well, doesn't it? To catch Fulham. Excuse me. Sorry. Everything's going crazy. But yeah, let's do this way round. A Fulham victory leaves West Brom on 81. Even a Brentford victory then would put them on 81. And then Leeds are as good as up, aren't they? You could have a scenario of Leeds 87, West Brom 81, Brentford 81. And then you get that annoying position where you're basically up, but you're not. You need 1 more point or the other teams to be perfect. There we go. James agrees, would rather a Fulham win than a West Brom win. Hopefully Leeds won't get promoted against Derby. It's on the cards now, isn't it? Badger says, Fulham cannot catch us, Ben. Only way they can beat us is if they win all 3, we lose all 3. There you go. Who needs Fulham then from a Leeds point of view? Fulham can, however, catch West Brom. 2020 is a bad year for everyone except Leeds and Liverpool. Absolutely true, says Falls and Noodles. Leeds wouldn't have won that last year. They're getting the results. And if you remember last year, and I was at a lot of these games, I got accused of being a curse, but remember, was it Sergi Canos scored for Brentford? In those moments, they crumbled and then they were chasing. Flexible Truth says Leeds divided. No, Leeds United. Tough game to watch, says Ross, but our hero Pablo stepped in and saved the day. Oliver says, at 89 minutes, Big Jack arrives in heaven, goes into God's football office, told them all to leave and took the joystick. There we go. Rest in peace, Jack Charlton. And of course, Leeds have lost Trevor Cherry and Norman Hunter as well. Was it fitness? Maybe there was a bit of it, but it was concentration at the end there. And as Bielsa will always say, stick to the process. Stick to the process and you will make it. There we go. Luke didn't have a great game going forward, but his character and determination showed again and allowed that goal to happen. Yes, Enzio, you're right. In terms of he didn't have a great game going forward, did he get up and down that side pass Bidwell much? No. But in that key moment when he got on his bike and look back, watch that Calvin Phillips pass, right, cool as you like, across his own box. When he got across and he got on his bike and he got up the line, overheld Acosta's shoulder, which we all know is the plan. Cool as you like, putting the cross back. He didn't just hammer it across and win a corner. He made the right ball. In that one moment, Ayling did more. Max says championship review tonight or tomorrow. Well, the plan was to do it tonight, although obviously this stream now has gone in such a way that we have half of Leeds in it. So we'll just keep going and see. I mean, it might be tonight, Max. I'll get everything advertised. But yes, I might need to do some maths before I do the review because I'm changing my mind on what's the best outcome for anyone at the top. So, Tim, this time next year. Oh, nice one, says Tony. There you go. We'll move past that one. Not quite in the spirit of most of the people here, Tony. Well played, Swansea, but we are the mighty Leeds who never give up. First win over Swansea, Swiss City since 1964. There you go. Craig says, karma is sweet. Back at Ellen Road, the Swans had a smash and grab. Cooper called it a tactical win. We do it, and it was lucky. I don't think it was lucky, was it? Glad to see the spine work, says Richard. Paul says, that's it. We've done it. Magic Man Pablo, 16 years of hurt. That was for our Big Jack. Now to be champions. We've got some emotional Leeds fans here. That is Paul over in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, indeed. I only know that from watching Bret Hart when I was young. Hugh Loiner, the Bloom curse is over. There was never a curse, was there? Hey, never, ever a curse. Max says 5:30 now, 5:30 a.m. wherever Max is. Carl says, I'm not biased. Enjoy good football being played. Both Leeds and Brentford are doing so this year. We're going to get an unholy alliance here between Leeds fans and Brentford fans against West Brom. Leeds doing Cardiff a massive favour. Cardiff derby for 6th place, possibly. Put them under pressure. Big Jack, 1990. Milton knows. Good result for Forest. Yes, it's totally open. Let's just have a look at the playoff picture as well. I know all the Leeds fans watching won't care, but if I bring that up, Cardiff have lost, Swansea have lost. I can't even remember what the Preston score was because this has all been so crazy since. Millwall won, didn't they? Derby lost, Bristol City won. Totally open. Look at that. 64, 63, 62, 62, 61, 61. And Blackburn just a game behind on 60. Incredibly open as ever in the Championship. Let's go back to your comments. Championship will miss Leeds. Yes, it will. Of course it will. But I think the Premier League needs to have a bit of Bielsa now, don't they? I don't know what that says. Vamos Leeds, carajo, aguante, Marcelo y Leeds decide Argentina. I assume he's in Argentina or Spain, but I can't speak Spanish. Someone help me out there. Gotta love the Championship, says Michael. West Brom, Fulham. Yeah, that's an understatement. Huge, huge game. Just got a feeling Brentford will win every game now and pit West Brom. The Leeds fans are having a lovely, lofty perch now from just a little bit further up. Remember, West Brom drawing this weekend. Incredible. J-Dog says, Leeds, best odds I've seen for a top 2 finish, 50-1 on. Fulham victory against West Brom is okay. Yes, I've been corrected by a few people on that. They will never catch Leeds because of the goal difference. Pal says, come on, Preston. The playoff Becken. Kieran says, thank God for that. If Forest win, says Owen on Wednesday, they are confirmed in the playoffs. Credit to Swansea, they made it hard. Oh, yes, they did. Wayne has a fair point here. He says that'll do Leeds more good than an easy 3-0. It probably was. And for us neutrals, that was a great moment, wasn't it? A great moment. Leeds up now. Well, some of us have been fairly calm about this for a while now. But yes, Leeds are up. There we go. Ridley says, who will get sixth? No one wants it at the moment. Therefore, possession is 9/10 the law. So maybe Cardiff, on the basis that nobody wants it. Kevin says, Leeds return to the top flight could be secured when they host Barnsley on Thursday if Brentford lose to North End on Wednesday. Yes, it could. Don't you know? Pump it up. The Whites are going up. There we go. Anyone else get the feeling that Brentford will lose in the playoffs? We've seen it in the Championship before. A really good third-place team on a real tear loses. All I'll say is the last time I remember it being quite like this. Do you remember Charlton in 1998? 8 straight wins, I think, going into the playoffs, and then another 3 straight wins in the playoffs. Remember Villa as well last year. 10 victories going into that crazy game at Elland Road. So it does favour the team on form. It really, really does. Kian says it just felt so good to do the same to Swansea as they did to us earlier in the season. Also the Dan James situation. From a Welsh Leeds fan, have that Swansea. There you go. I think the context was a little bit different this game. A little bit more pressure on Pablo in deep into July with this COVID as well. Andrew is still buzzing. Pablo's goal, amazing player. Bill Shankly always said champions never fluke it. No, they don't. They absolutely never did. And Mike says, now you see the logic behind murder ball. That intensity drove us home for the last 10 minutes. There we go. Forza Noodle said the stream has half of Leeds in it. Leeds would take more in it, of course. There we go. Nick, super chat there. I'll drink to Nick. £10 super chat. Thanks for your contribution there, sir. Brilliant stuff. He says, look forward to the content for the coming seasons. We will, I promise, we will on the channel keep covering Leeds, and we'll get back on Sheffield United as well. Obviously, built up a great relationship with all of you guys. So we want to keep that going. So there will be a Dearly Departed show next season involving Sheffield United for sure. Norwich and Villa look like they're down, so they won't be involved. And it will likely involve Leeds now. Will it involve West Brom, Brentford, Fulham, Forest, Cardiff? Who knows? Jake says, I've got a proper headache. Stoke game was intense, but that was nearly 90 minutes of tension, wasn't it? Just there we go. Will Leeds keep Ben White? Going to cost them. But, hey, if you promise Leeds a defender for 20 million or Ben White for 30, who already knows what Bielsa wants, I'd spend the extra money and not sign anybody else, would be my stance on that. Jin says we are mentally strong, but in all honesty, we have been the best team for the last 2 years in the Championship. All these lads know the Bielsa system in and out. We were badly unlucky last year. Yeah, mad collapse. Remember, collapsed in the league and then collapsed crazily in the playoffs as well. I have to say, as a Leeds fan, I do give credit to Steve Cooper this season. He really knew how to set up to stop us without the usual 10 behind the ball. Very true. It wasn't just a boring old low block and 11 behind the ball. It was a bit cleverer than that. I don't know why more people don't watch. Remember, Swansea do have the technical ability, though, when they do get the ball, to move it quickly. I don't think, to be fair to the likes of Stoke, that they do. They might do, but not at the moment. Can't wait to see Elland Road on FIFA 21. We wouldn't have won that last year. A few people have said that, Reese. But we got the result, which is all that matters. Lana says, bit sad that us fans, after all these years of heartbreak, aren't there to see it. Can you imagine the away end? Because they would have been right in front of the away supporters. That would have been a moment, wouldn't it? It was a great moment anyway, wasn't it, from football point of view. Only 4 points needed now, says Owen. And remember, West Brom and Fulham playing each other, dropping points. 1:17 a.m. Hard here in Oz, hard to sleep now. Leeds. A lot of people are buzzing, not going to get much sleep. Hey up, muckers, keep sticking us on last, Sky. Hey, it's going to work in your favour this week, Muckers being on last. I think you can sit back. You've just put all of the pressure on Brentford, Fulham and West Brom now with that late goal. Who's on the beers? There's only one, Benjamin Bloom. I know it wouldn't be like me, but I may have a glass of red wine later on. We will see. Ben, what's my final top 2 and playoff teams? Can I answer that after Tuesday? All depends on that West Brom Fulham game. Nobody can say with any certainty. If West Brom win that 3-0, West Brom are up. If Fulham win that, Brentford could do this incredible tear and the perfect 10. They've already won 7 on the trot to make second. I don't know. I fancied Forest in the playoffs for a while, so let's have a look and see what goes on. Kevin says, I would like Swansea in the playoffs and not Cardiff. Interesting. Cardiff is going to be a hard game in the playoffs, although Swansea will be a hard game looking at that. If 2 people are being chased by a bear, you don't have to outrun the bear. You don't have to outrun the bear. Just be faster than the person next to you. Maybe, yeah, maybe true. And sometimes you got to remember it is a race, and people get concerned with what other people are doing. Just concentrate on yourself. Put a good point score up. Don't go under in the pressure, and you will be all right. Fulham can only go to 85 points, says 2 Red Rods. He's absolutely right. So, yeah, I can see why Leeds fans are saying they're not too bothered about a Fulham victory there because, look, let's face it. Come on, everybody. Leeds need 1 win, don't they? They need 1 win. And I think that will be enough, assuming everyone else is perfect. EFL will miss Leeds, of course they will. 1964 was the year we went up under Revy. Swansea was the deciding game that season. In fact, they mentioned it in the commentary that I watched. I think it was at Swansea where Leeds first got the back 4 with Hunter, Charlton and Madeley in it as well. And then several hundred games each later, Leeds had won everything and conquered Europe, hadn't they? So 500 watching, only 107 likes. Hit that like button if you are watching. If you're new here, please hit subscribe as well. Amazing numbers in the chat. Brilliant, brilliant. Be careful, boys and girls, says Knee Down. It's Leeds. It ain't over yet. I've supported Leeds too long. It's all over by the shouting, though, isn't it? The Championship is the real English league, but we will enjoy going up to great, isn't it? Excellent presenting, totally on top of the chat. Stelling-wise, compare me to Stelling. He never misses a beat, does he? Thank you, Lana. And I support a rubbish team like Stelling does as well. 20 clean sheets now. Sorry, Wayne, I didn't read that. I hope West Brom staying second now. 20 clean sheets now for Leeds. Quality going forward. Great at the back. And remember, that's not clean sheets. It's the same with Brentford. And I remember Swansea when they were a bit tiki-taka in the Premier League, the great Barcelona teams. That is not clean sheets from being defensive. That is clean sheets from keeping the ball and not allowing chances against you, rather than the old head it, kick it, stand back, make it ugly for people. Cardiff will beat Derby, says Nick. Do not fancy them at all. I think Untold fans are for Brentford, Ben. Brentford are a new kid on the block. West Brom have been that yo-yo team, although if you see the stats for Norwich yesterday, 5th relegation from the Premier League. They are now the official yo-yo team. But yeah, Brentford, new kid on the block. I am for West Brom to go up with us. Brentford via the playoffs. Would love Millwall to make the playoffs. Stuart says, Ben, do you think we will make the Premier League more exciting? What do you think, Stuart? You put Marcelo Bielsa and let's be fair to you, Leeds fans, you're mental. All of those Leeds fans into the Premier League. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. But they need to get that 1 more win. The thing is, most Leeds fans were buzzing after 5-0, but that 1-0 was better. Enrique, vamos Leeds from Argentina. Saludos. Hello in Argentina. There you go. The flexible truth. Leeds United never divided. We would get hammered, Nick, but who cares? It would worry the Premier League. Wolf is a Millwall fan. Hey, I always say there's different tiers in England. Champions League, Premier League TV money, parachute money, Championship. Get yourself into that 3rd tier, for God's sake, even if you do get hammered. There you go. Fulham, 85 points max, absolutely. Hernan, COVID gave the promotion to Leeds. Otherwise, the players would have run out of gas. Interesting. They were on fire before COVID, but hey, we'll never know, will we? We will never know Hernan. You won't be able to disprove that. The key game was the 5-0 victory. If Brentford drop any points v Preston, we are promoted if we beat Barnsley. I don't think it's mathematically. So a Brentford draw puts them on 79. A Leeds win would put them on 87. Is he right? Yes, he is right. So, God, that would make it a big game. Imagine Brentford don't get the victory and a Leeds win. They know a win over Barnsley puts them up. My God. Tony says, great fight for 6th. Yes, it absolutely is, Tony. Although not quite the standard of the fight for 4th. The top 4, where everybody is winning. It seems like everybody is falling over each other there. Last time Swansea went top when they beat Leeds. Yes, they did. Badger says it's ridiculous the top 3 don't go up. No, give me the playoffs any day of the week. Hey, I love the playoffs. Should be like it used to be when it started, 4th, 5th and 6th. Personally, I don't agree, Badger, because I believe that second-tier teams should compete against second-tier teams to get into the top tier, not in a playoff against the top-tier team. Especially, can you imagine, given the money that a Premier League team has against a Championship team? I love the playoffs, and I'm an Ipswich fan. And we've been in it 8 times and only won once. I think only Derby and Preston are any worse than us. There we go. Owen still shaking. Felt like Swansea were really going to do a number on us. What a moment it was indeed. Leeds are falling apart again. Yes, we've read that one from Hernan. Nearly screamed my house down when King Pablo scored. El Maggio, incredible. I'd pay 40 million for Ben White. And remember, Leeds have done their business quite well here because Harrison, that's a loan to convert at a decent price. Costa has been expensive, but he'll be ready, won't they? Pablo's ready, but he's 35. I don't know whether he can do the Premier League every week. Calvin Phillips is ready. And I think probably Meslier, once he gets the games under his belt, will be ready. They need someone in that back 4. No offence to Cooper. He needs the help of White next to him. If you're going to put your eggs in a basket, I think the Ben White basket is a good one. All we want to know, though, is do they have an option to buy him in that loan deal? I hope they do for their sake. There we go. My bird wants to know, what doll is that on your top shelf? This, in fact, let's get it down, is a Benjamin Bloom doll made by my girlfriend's mother. Isn't it wonderful? I'll put it back. Maybe I'll put it back later because it'll probably fall down. But a bespoke doll. We can get you one made if you DM me on Twitter. If either Leeds, West Brom miss out, and Cardiff, some other team that finished 15 points off, it's not. It is and it isn't. That's the game before the season, isn't it? You know that 6th place, everyone signs up for it. 6th place can go up. Ipswich got punished a few times, but that's the rules, and it makes it so fascinating, doesn't it? Toby, I've got a feeling I've never felt before. Great stuff. How do I pronounce that? Padar. Oh, Paddy. There we go. Padar McKenna. Up Queen's Bar. Up Paddy Riley. Up Derm El Maggio. I don't know what that means, but for 49 euros. Thank you so much for the super chat. Leeds were unlucky last year. They ran out of gas and bottled it. But I was at that playoff semi-final. It was weird. It was this psychological anxiety collapse as soon as that goal. They were 1-0 up, weren't they? And as soon as that mistake was made, this just incredible implosion happened. So I don't think it was running out of gas. I think it was a psychological collapse. Heretic. Even though I'm a Leeds fan, Ben, my man of the match was Ayew. He did have a good game, didn't he? He was really going for it. Hooterman says Trump will win again. Okay. West Brom fans saying Leeds best side in the league, deserve promotion as champions. Very nice, but need to win the title first. I'm going to put the fan on because I am boiling here with the windows closed, and people are flying automatic planes or whatever you call them. Oh, there. So many people giving Swansea so much credit. But if in the last ball in had been decent, it had been much more a comfortable win. Possibly. I think Swansea played it well. Swansea ruined James' transfer at midnight, so we break their hearts at 89. There we go. Hazard says, I'm 19 years old and watched League since the League One days. This is the best Leeds team I've ever seen. I bet it is. We have to do it now. This is the best Leeds team since the one with when they got to the Champions League, isn't it? Surely with Rio Ferdinand and God, Ian Hart, Paul Robinson, Harry Kewell, Mark Viduka. God, who else was in that team? David Batty came back, didn't he? That was a great team. Olivier Dacour, he was a good player, wasn't he? We will not keep Ben White because Graham Potter said he will be a crucial part of the Brighton squad. And I don't know which centre-back will replace him. Need a good one to get. And this is the issue that Villa had this season, that to even replicate their promotion team, because they borrowed Abraham, Mings and Tuan Zabi, they had to spend a hell of an amount of money just to be as good as they were when they went up. Leeds, Brentford, Forest, says Josh, for promotion. Ben, what do Leeds need to stay in the Premier League? And when we do it well, they need to keep Bielsa. They need to remain with the same pattern of play. They need to give Bielsa money. They need to accept that at his age, there isn't a lot of point doing what Norwich have just done and bank the money to go up again next season. But you start looking at the players and you can build around. Meslier's already there. If we could get White, it would be incredible, but maybe that's unlikely. I think Ayling will get a go, won't he? Maybe they need a left back if he hasn't trusted anyone other than Dallas. Phillips will be fine. I think they need a central midfielder to play with Klitsch. I think Harrison and Costa will be in the team. And I do think, as much as I do like Bamford, I think a centre-back and a centre-forward, if they're going to spend the money. But look, I'm sure Orta and Bielsa had this planned out 12 months ago, didn't they? They thought they were up last season, so will be interesting. Sixth playoff spot is wide open. Absolutely it is. Badger says Leeds 1, Brentford 2, West Brom 3. Cardiff v Derby. Surprised it isn't on Sky. If Cardiff win, they will get the playoffs, but if Derby win, they're right back in it. And I must say, the LUTV coverage was very good. The commentary was a little bit biased, as you can imagine, but very, very decent, I have to say. Money talks. Yes, it does. Jacob says, am I on StreamYard? Yes, I am, indeed. Let Fulham win. I'd like to see Brentford up. And for Janssen, a Leeds fan who's still friendly with Janssen. There we go. West Brom ain't got it in them to win in the playoffs. Just remember that if you were managing a team in the playoffs and one of those managers was Slaven Bilic, one of those managers was Sabri Lamucci, one was Neil Harris, and one was Scott Parker, you'd probably want your manager to be Bilic or Lamucci, and probably Bilic, even though Lamucci is very good. Parker, very inexperienced, and Harris, great job at Millwall, but now elevating himself into the top six there. I think I'd want Bilic in my dugout, I do have to say. Playoff race a bit different from last year. The teams were seen as bad as each other. Last year, Derby were much better than Borough and Bristol City. Remember, Derby were weird last year. They'd only scraped in. And it's real strange concoction for Lampard to get that Chelsea job where basically Mount, Wilson, Tomori and a good last run and then a mental semi-final got them into the final. Villa were much the better side in the final, weren't they? Good grief, the time wasted by Swansea was disgraceful. Look, come on, everyone does it. There we go. Negative game has stuck to it. Retromaster, I would say, compare their negative tactics to Stoke, and it was a whole different kettle of fish, wasn't it? Well done, Leeds, and well done, Pablo. I agree with that. David says, just arrived, Ben. Yes. 3 to go, 4 points needed. It's one win, isn't it? One win. Manuel says, historic goal, historic Pablo. Wow, go Leeds. Great, fantastic. Only one more victory. I'm saying, as a neutral, it was a great moment. It really, really was a great moment. Thomas says, it's over. Badger says, racking their brains to see how they can give Leeds a 12-point deduction. Remember, this is Radrizzani, not Chileno. There's going to be no deduction. It's done very, very well. I've heard that West Brom, I hadn't heard that West Brom are falling apart again yet, but would be a different story. Of course it would. Come on, it's with Leeds history, isn't it? West Brom have been in the Premier League probably for 10 years over the last 16 years, and Leeds haven't. So, look, that chant is going to follow Leeds around forever. It just is, but just embrace it. Hey, when Leeds were relegated, the last game they played was against Charlotte. I don't know what that means. Great video, says Tom. Thank you, sir. The fat lady clearing her throat. Yes, indeed. Last time Liverpool won the top flight, Leeds won the second division. Interesting. What on Ipswich next season? Worth a punt? No, don't do it. Come back to me in October and I'll tell you. I'm on Leeds. We need to invest cleverly, for next season. We want West Brom to go up. Bilic, top manager. He's done well. Recruitment good in January. Getting Grosicki and Callum Robinson as well. Last game Leeds played in the Premier League, Charlton, not Charlotte. There we go. Would be ironic if they won the league to go up against them. Remember, they could do Lee Bowyer a favour there, although I think Charlton are going to be all right. Q Liner says, I think Cardiff will get sixth. Lee says, I feel the amazing work Brentford have done over the years is deserving of automatic. Let's see indeed. Nezakat says, Pablo the Magician. Absolutely agree there, and I've pressed the wrong button. Yet, again, I do apologise. I'm scrolling up to get more of your comments read out on this great stream that we have been doing. God, there's still loads and loads of your comments. There we go. Nidan says, would love to see Brentford do it using the old Moneyball technique. Come on, Preston against Brentford. Yes, there's going to be a lot of Leeds fans thinking that up. Look at that table. So much for so many still to play for. Going to miss the championship. Absolutely. Ridley says, I love the playoffs. Makes the division more exciting. But for Derby, it's heartbreak almost every season. Yeah, Derby just as bad as Ipswich. Eight playoff competitions, 1 victory. There we go. Let's keep scrolling. Do you know, pump it up? The Whites are going up. There we go. We need a young midfielder, says Luis. Have Leeds done it for you now, Ben? Yes, I think so. Isaac Sutty, my mum shouted at me for screaming Pablo so loud. I think a lot of people would have screamed Pablo there. Badger says, I'm sure we'll get Ben White for 30 million. Pablo the Wizard, yes, indeed. Leeds need a striker. I think they do, to add to Bamford, don't they? What do you think about Stuart Webber method for getting teams promoted? It's very good. Yeah, he's got 2 of them promoted. Orta, slightly different with Bielsa, but still a great job done. You have to give Swansea credit. They played well. If they make the playoffs, they will be the dark team on that performance. On the LUTV stream, you could hear Victor Orta having a heart attack in the state. Yes, I was watching it, yeah. I think if Kiko was in net, we wouldn't be in this position. Interesting. We'll never know. We will never know. Do I think Bristol City will get the final playoff spot? They could do, couldn't they? 2 straight wins. Dean Holden in there. A little bit of a new manager or sacked manager bounce. There we go. Do you think Leeds are the most supported team in Yorkshire? I'm not going to get involved in anything like that. Heretic says, definitely not convinced. More than a couple of our players at Premier League standard, we could easily do a Norwich. Well, I think there's the bones of a team to build around. But yes, they do need to spend. I feel Bamford would be better if we had a second striker along him. Yes, but you need to go back 20, 30 years. Bielsa ain't going to play 2 strikers. He had Crespo and Batistuta and he didn't play 2 strikers. Ain't going to happen, Toby, I'm afraid. Most supported team in the championship. Absolutely. I don't care how much of a genius Bielsa is, but he struggled to score 16 goals in the championship. There's no way he'll get 20 in the Premier League. God, you've got to remember, though, that's a high bar. Anyone who gets 20 goals in the Premier League is worth a small fortune, aren't they? Do you think Kiko should replace Meslier if he's allowed to play again? Ain't going to happen. I think Meslier's in and done now. Just because teams know the rules doesn't make them fair. They have to sign up to them, but they have no choice. But I respect your opinion. I respect your opinion too, Badger. I didn't say it was fair. I just said they knew the rules. I said it was exciting. Fair is never exciting. I think it'd be very exciting to take 3 players away from every team that was 1-0 up, but wouldn't be fair, would it? But yes, I know what you mean. I take your point. But remember, if we had no playoffs now, there would be currently probably 7 dead rubbers in the championship every weekend, wouldn't they? It would only be Brentford, West Brom and Leeds with promotion to play for. So, look, the playoffs have been in there for, since what, 1987, haven't they? So, look, there we go. But yes, I do respect your opinion, of course. But in the playoffs, second leg in that last 10 minutes, Leeds were out on their feet. Yes, but I think mentally they'd gone, hadn't they? I think they were out on their brains, not out on their feet. And remember then, Berardi got red carded for those last 10 minutes. It was 10 against 11. I've never seen anything like it. And you just knew Derby were going to score. You really, really did. It was palpable in the ground. 3 months with no football, and now this madness. Incredible, won't it? He would have been promoted now if Bamford was more clinical. Yeah, true, but he does a lot of good things. Do I think Stoke will survive? Big result for Stoke today, beating Birmingham. Yes, I think they probably will. Lee Bowyer was in that team. Of course he was. Yeah, the last good Leeds team. COVID has been our salvation. No crowds allowing us to play without fear. I miss Gary Kelly. Yes, there we go. Does this Leeds team beat O'Leary's team? I often wonder. Not yet. No, too many good players in that Leeds team. Too many, really elite. I mean, you've got Rio Ferdinand in there, for goodness sake. But certainly, I mean, it's one of those weird things where it's very hard to compare a team from 20 years to 20 years ago if they actually played in a game, because obviously most people from 20 years in the future would beat you, wouldn't they? Even if they were a division down. But it's a fun thing to debate, isn't it? What's been my favourite game of the season so far? I really enjoyed Luton versus Middlesbrough. The first day back, 3 months off, 3-3 draw, ridiculousness, long-range goals, Luton's ground, championship mentalness. There we go. Maybe Leeds will have benefited from not getting promoted last season. Better team now. There's definitely something in that. My team, Ipswich, lost in the playoffs for 4 years straight, okay? And when they went up into the Premier League, they finished 5th because their pattern of play was sorted. Been practiced for 4 years. They gradually built. Obviously, losing in the playoffs isn't fun, but they had basically been winning for 4 years. So there you go. Pablo and Klitsch isn't enough. No, I think they do need a central midfielder. Lana says QSI will buy White. You heard it here first. I'm not going to argue with Lana after the prediction yesterday on Ben Hamer. Good one there. A lot of injury time at Swansea, even though 5 minutes were shown on the board. Thought we would never score, and it trickled in. Yeah, it's weird with those stoppage time. Now, Prasad, who is in San Jose, will drink to you, sir. Sorry, I assume Prasad is a male name. I'm not good with names of that type. Made Jack proud in our first win at Swansea since '64. Thank you so much. A $10 super chat from Prasad. I think you look like Ailing. That's a compliment. Hey, Ailing's hair's longer than mine, I think. Madness, isn't it? The Meslier save from that ball going top corner. What a keeper. Yeah, he got his angles right, didn't he? Huge bloke as well, isn't he? Loyal Royal, I can't see White leaving Brighton. Surely a sideways move from him. Well, depends what you think the trajectory going forward of the two clubs is. Vamos, Leeds, Carajo. We've had a few of those in Spanish, haven't we? Thoughts on Ipswich next season? Are you still saying that Brentford can't win all their games? David, I've never said that Brentford can't win all their games. I'm just saying it would be unlikely. Of course they can win all of their games. And it would be an incredible achievement, 10 on the trot. And as it gets closer, I'll back away more from, I'm sure you can find a clip of me saying that they can't win all their games. It's just going to be a hell of a run. The last 10 as well. We've only seen 10 on the trot done by Villa since 2005. And for it to be the last 10, wow, what a way to get promoted that would be. Leeds could be up if Preston beat Brentford. Yes, indeedio, everyone. All eyes on that game. Indeed. What about Jean-Kevin Augustin? That's going to be a weird one, isn't it? They might still want him. You'd assume Bielsa and Orta have identified him for a multitude of reasons. So we'll see what happens. The fact that he hasn't been used is worrying, but remember he has had an injury. He could still be the guy. They could still sign him, and he could still be the perfect guy for Leeds. And we know how careful they are with identifying players. Spurs or Liverpool for Ben White, perhaps. If West Brom lose and Brentford win in the next round of games, I think West Brom collapse. It's possible, isn't it? It is possible. Deb says, hi, Ben. Hi, Deb, to Michael. Ipswich are far better than Hartlepool, says Taxman. Yeah, it doesn't feel like that sometimes. I believe the Championship is a more competitive league than the Premier League, says Ian. Certainly more fun, isn't it? We can sit back and enjoy West Brom Fulham. That is going to be a corker, isn't it? On Tuesday, 5 p.m. I will be there. Get subscribing and get notified for that one. So great to see a football fan that doesn't hate Leeds to the core. I don't hate anyone. I don't even hate Norwich, for goodness sake, and I'm supposed to, apparently. I woke up my little boy with screaming when that ball went in the net. Lovely stuff. Would love nothing more than Bamford hitting the ground running in the Prem, scoring 15-plus goals. I'm sure Pat Bamford would love that as well. Do you think that either Bilic or Parker will be sacked if they don't get promoted? I think Parker will be sacked if they don't get promoted. Yes, big opportunity there for Fulham. And if they don't take it, he may be in some trouble. I'm Leeds, and I know we need 6 players for the Premier League. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they do the recruitment, whether they go and they do what Sheffield United did and buy players that, if the worst happened and did get down, would improve them in a relegated team, or they try and go for Premier League ready players, which will cost you. Bamford won't step foot on the pitch next season. Interesting. We need urgent a midfielder. And Louis says he doesn't trust Klitsch in the Premier League. I think he'll get the chance, Klitsch, given he's played every minute to get them up. Worth saying we don't need a squad overhaul nor world-class players. Our system elevates everyone playing in it. That is true. Look at Dallas, Ayling. Look at Phillips as well. Phillips is a possible England midfielder now, isn't he? And he wasn't before Bielsa was there, let's just say. Have to remember Meslier is another player who is on loan to buy. I think there's more of an option on Meslier than there is on White, isn't there? Playoffs make it more interesting, and they are needed. It keeps teams much lower down competing and the league more competitive. Yeah, imagine parachute payments and no playoffs. This league would become not very competitive very quickly because teams just would not spend. I know it's bad the way they spend. Obviously, I understand that, but yeah, there we go. I wish we had Mark Viduka. Oh, Mark Viduka would, but would he be mobile enough for Bielsa? He'd certainly be good with his back to goal. Good player, Mark Viduka. Gary Neville spoke greatly about Mark Viduka, about being a hard opponent. Alan Smith as well. He was a player, wasn't he? Went on to Newcastle and Manchester United. Where am I going here? Sorry, I've pressed the wrong button again. In terms of my comments, speaking as a Leeds fan, light years behind the Leeds Champions League semi. Yeah, I think when you're judging teams from different eras, you do actually have to end at how did that team perform in their time. And if a team gets to the Champions League semi-final, then yes, by definition, it has to be way better than a team that as yet has done nothing. They're only 4 points away from a promotion, but there we go. Nandez from Cagliari would be a good for a Leeds midfielder. Interesting. Pochettino, next Leeds manager. Hey, stranger things have happened. You can imagine Bielsa stabilising them in the Premier League and then just passing the torch, riding off into the sunset, never to be heard on again. Who would I bet on getting 6th place? At the moment, possession 9-10 for the law. I'd still go with Cardiff, I think, at the moment, because everyone's too inconsistent. So whoever's holding that place would take it at the moment. I love the playoffs as long as we're not in them. The playoffs are good if you're the underdog, aren't they? They're not much fun if you finish 3rd or 4th, let's just say. Moving on. If Brentford draw and we win, then we go up. And if they lose, then we only need a point and we're up, right? Not sure. Let me check one more time. I'll get all of this sorted for when we do the review. So if Brentford draw, they will be on 79 and can still get 85 points. So Leeds would need a win if Brentford draw, and Leeds would need a draw if Brentford lose. I think I'm right in saying that, aren't I? Brentford lose, they're on 78. Yeah. Let me repeat that so I'm getting it right. Leeds would need a win if Brentford draw. Leeds would need a draw if Brentford lose. And they will be there. 4 points from 9, providing chasers win all matches. Right. You know what? I think I'm going to end the stream there. It's been absolutely wonderful. Biggest numbers we have ever had on a stream, but I am frankly exhausted at the moment. It was We can even remember that back. Leeds winning 1-0 at Swansea, an incredible moment. Pablo Hernandez, 88th minute winner. What a moment. Leeds, 4 points from promotion. I'm done. I'm spent. I don't know whether I'll be back doing the review or whether we'll do that tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for the super chats. As ever, you can support the channel on YouTube by super chatting, subscribing on Patreon. Hit the like, comment as well. That supports the channel. Thank you, everybody who's come and watched. If you're new, hit subscribe. Hit the thumbs up if you're still here now. I'm beat. I'm done. I need to go and sit in a darkened room. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon. It'll be the Championship review. The idea was to try and do it today, but I am completely beat. So we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching. Over and out.